Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. I guess the topic of this video is why do we exist? Why do we specifically exist? You know, I've been thinking a lot recently, and I have had the opinion or the thought that what it like the opinion that we shouldn't exist at all. We shouldn't be in the universe. We shouldn't exist. Okay? Why do I exist? I wonder what it would be like if none of this happened. If none of it happened. And I mean, I guess you can look at some benefits of that. I mean, you may think I thought that, you know, you would be free from suffering. You would be free from the possibility, the thought of death, the thought that, oh yeah, it's all going to end one day. And you know, when you think about it in a strictly biological sense, when you think about it just solely based on what happens to an organism, you know, the organism decays, the organism dies, and then consciousness ends. You know, whenever you look at the universe in a scientific, a rigidly scientific light, it doesn't, the universe does not provide you meaning. Life does not provide you meaning. And you are kind of left with this existential crisis. You know, you say to yourself, there's no point. There's no point to living if you're going to die one day. What's the point of it all? You look at the universe and it's just so harsh. There's so many different ways you can die. There's so many different ways. And I think the worst part of all this is knowing that you're going to die one day. Knowing that if you don't get killed in a car accident or you don't drown, which are both two terrifying possibilities. If both of those things or many other physical things don't happen to you, on any random day, on any random night, you can die. Like, imagine if you're very old and you're sleep, you're just gonna go to bed like you've done always, and you think to yourself, oh, I'm just going to wake up tomorrow and start my day tomorrow. But instead you die in your sleep, and then you never come back ever again. That is terrifying to me. I watched this YouTube video. I think the title was called, oh yeah, Leo Tolstoy found the meaning of life. And basically what the video said is that he found meaning in faith, aka the belief in a God. But the thing is, how do you know? How are you so sure that a God exists? How do you know that for sure? I feel like if a God did exist, I feel like it would be personal. I think it would be a personal God just for me. I know that sounds kind of naive to think, and it is ignorant. But let's just say that that's true for a moment. I mean, that actually makes more sense, because what about all the children, the young children who have died of leukemia? What about all the young children who died young without living? Who did not get the opportunity, did not get the chance to live any kind of life. They didn't get any chance to prove themselves. What about the children who died on the Titanic? Or those who, you know, got maybe malaria, or, you know, maybe even the babies who died right after they'd been born because of some type of miscarriage or something. Why? Why do this to people who haven't even lived a life? And why do some people get to live longer than other people, even though there are plenty of good people who have died young, who've died without properly living a life. And that's where my idea of a personal God comes in. What if there's just a God for me, and then everything else around me is not real? It's just an interpretation. And the thing is, I've actually gotten close to death before. I have some near. I mean, I don't know if you would call it a near death experience. Um, there was this one time when I was very young. I accidentally fell into our pool, and I almost drowned in the swimming pool. But my dad was conveniently there to save me. He was conveniently there to save me. What if he wasn't there to save me? I mean, he was pretty. He didn't actually know what was going on until. I mean, he literally had his like work clothes on, and he literally had to jump in the pool with his work clothes on to save my life. There's this other incident a few days ago. Actually, no, I'll get to that. But I remember many years ago. I don't know exactly when. Actually, yeah, I don't know. I don't know when this event occurred, but anyway, you know, we were driving at night. We just came back from this restaurant, I think, and we were driving back home. And while we were at a stoplight, um, a car a car smashed into the back of our vehicle. And the thing is, thankfully, no one was hurt. But I mean, I guess our we did have to go to back therapy or something, or I don't know what it's called, but it's like we had to get like, you know, physical treatment for our backs because of what happened. Okay, what if that went differently? And maybe I'm living a life where I I avoid terrible things that happen to me. Like, you know, those experiences that I mentioned, and most recently, like a day ago. I remember a day ago. Um, I was walking. No, no, I don't even know if it was. I think it was like 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. I was walking outside. This was at night, and I saw this vehicle, um, drive up very, very slowly, and I thought that I was going to get kidnapped or something, but apparently not. Apparently they were just driving through the neighborhood, but they were driving suspiciously slowly, and I thought that I was going to get kidnapped and maybe die. And the thing is, like, more recently, I mean, of course, there's a lot of ideas that I'm presenting in this video. The first idea I presented was that there was, oh my god, what am I even doing? So the thing is, um, I think the original point of this video was, what's the point of living? What's the point of living? Um, and you know, I hate relying. I hate having to rely on science. It disturbs me. It disturbs me significantly. Okay, what else am I supposed to rely on? What other sources of information are there? None. It just feels like I feel like there's no way to understand it. There's no way. What if you just die and then that's it? And then you don't exist anymore. There's nothing. There's nothing left. You don't exist ever again. Doesn't that disturb people? Doesn't that cause a horrible thought to develop in your mind? Why me? Why do I have to exist and have to know the thought that I'm going to die one day? And that I could die on any day. And then my life could be cut short. Or what if I'm old and I go to bed and I go to bed and I'm thinking that I'll have a peaceful night. But what if I never wake up again? That's the thing I don't understand. Okay, should I believe in a God or not? I mean, I haven't received any visions, or I haven't received any kind of satisfaction. It just feels like life is just this circumstantial thing. I want to know if God exists, or a God. I want to know. I really do want to know. And I how can you just assume that you are right? How can you assume that? How ignorant must that be? How naive must it be to assume something, to just take someone's word for it, but without. And that's the most terrifying thing. That's the most terrifying thing about life, is that I'm I'm getting older. Each day is passing by, and it feels like my life is being systematically ripped away from me, just a bit by bit. Thankfully, we do get to live a long time. Thankfully, we live in an era where we get to live longer, because throughout human history, people have not lived that long. So that's why I don't believe in a God for everyone, because I feel like life is just so unfair. Like, why is there so much? I mean, yeah, the Bible tries to explain why is there suffering, because of Adam and Eve and because of human nature. But why? Why would you punish someone for doing human nature? Why can't, if you're an all powerful God who can control anything, why won't you just control human behavior? Why won't you just do that? Why do you have to make us grapple with the suffering of knowing that we can do something wrong and then be sent somewhere, be sent to this horrible place people call it hell? I mean, there's other places like the realm of the hungry ghosts in Buddhism. So yeah, that's a lot to take in. Um, it just I I just can't comprehend. I can't understand why. Why? Why does this have to exist? Why don't we have to exist? What happened? What happened? What happened here? I want to know what happened. Okay, you say that, oh, what happened before the Big Bang? What happened before the Big Bang? Okay, and then you also say, there is no before the Big Bang. How is that possible? How can you say that? How can you say that the Big Bang, there was no before? How? It's good to think of it like this. Think of the Big Bang as the North Pole. Think of it as the North Pole. There is no north of the North Pole. The North Pole is the northernmost place. That's the same with the universe. The Big Bang was the beginning. At least in our perspective, it was the beginning. Well, of course, we can't see past that point. But for all intents and purposes, based on uh, what is what we know, that is the beginning. That is the beginning. But how can you explain that? How can you explain that? Why? You know, just thinking about my existence makes me cry. It makes me cry. Why? Why? You know, I mean, we're gonna spend a third of our lives sleeping. We're gonna spend a good chunk of our lives. I mean, from age maybe 18 to, or maybe probably age 16 to 65. We're probably gonna be working, or we're gonna be, or maybe, I mean, it depends. I mean, maybe you can start working after university, but okay, whatever. Um, so the good chunk of your life is spent working a job that you probably don't really like or don't find really much meaning in. You're probably not going to be very rich for the rest of your life. Just gonna, it's going to be a repetitive routine where you just wake up, you do your work, go to sleep. Is that life? Is that what life is supposed to be? You just work this depressing job. In a lot of cases, it's actually a dead end job, or you feel like you're getting screwed over in your job. You feel like your job is just nothing to you. It's just no meaning. There's no point to it all. You just work for money, for this piece of paper we call money, and then you spend that money on things that really don't make you happy. I mean, sure, they may make you happy in the short term, or have this illusion of giving you happiness, but it really doesn't give you happiness. And then what happens? You die. That's it. That's the end of life. And I think that's why people believe in God, is because it gives them life. Does not life, the universe does not give people meaning. It does not give people meaning. There is no meaning to be found in the universe when you look at natural observations, when you look at the natural world, when you rely on math and science. There is no meaning to be found in it. It's just straight up information, straight up facts that are presented to you. There is no supernatural. At least in the natural world, there is no supernatural. But the thing is, the supernatural exists outside of the natural world. Therefore, we cannot see it. Why do we have to rely on human assumptions, on guesswork? That's the thing. It's just guesswork, really. And I wonder how to continue this conversation. Um, you know, it's just insane to me. It's insane what's happening. It's insane that that's the thing. That's the thing. Death is the scariest thing in the universe. When you look at all the different fears, when you look at, maybe you have a fear of black holes, maybe you have a fear of space itself, maybe you have a fear of the ocean, of drowning, maybe you have a fear, of some type of insect or animal, or, but really a lot of fears are derived from death. That the fear that you are going to die if you are exposed to this. If you were in space without a spacesuit, you would die in under 90 seconds. Your blood would boil, your oxygen would immediately leave your body. I think your eyes would dry up, or like, no, I don't know, something happens with your eyes. I don't know if your eyes like water up or something. I don't know, but yeah. So yeah, you would die in under 90 seconds if you were in space. Similarly, if you were on the bottom of the Marianas Trench, you would also die in under 90 seconds. You would become unconscious in under 20 seconds. Your lungs would your body would immediately collapse under the pressure of the Marianas Trench. And that's it. That's it. You just die. You go unconscious. First of all, you experience an unimaginable amount of pain, and then you go unconscious, and then you die. Is that it? Is that life? Is that all there is to this existence? Why? And that begs the question, why do we exist? Would it be better if we just didn't exist? Would it be better if we just didn't experience, so that we can circumnavigate the questions of life? We can circumnavigate the questions of the universe. We can circumnavigate this horrible feeling that we have that we're going to die one day. I mean, we're going to return. If you think about it in the most strictly science-based, biological-based um, evidence, then you essentially return to not existing. It's basically before you were born. It's like you were before you were born. You just didn't exist. There was no experience. There was nothing. And the thing is, if you didn't exist at all, you wouldn't even be able to think about not existing. Of course, yes. Okay, so yes, there is a lot going on. I did speak a lot. I have been speaking a lot, yeah. So, yeah, it's just crazy. Thankfully, I do have life left, I do have life. I can still change my life. I still have so many different opportunities to change things. I have a lot left. You know, why most interesting thing is that I was born during this time. Like there have been 100, we think there have been 108 billion humans who have ever existed, and of course there was only 8 billion humans alive right now, which is like, I think it's actually less than 10%, less than 10% of humans who have ever existed exist right now. Over 90% of humans who've ever existed are already dead. That's the thing. Why now? I mean, I could have been born at any other time. I would have probably had like a shorter life, Um, you may have heard the thing. You may have heard the phrase, um, "The person who lives to be 150 has already been born." I don't believe that. No, that's not going to happen. I mean, sure, maybe. I mean, cool. We can try. We can try to reach that point, but really, I mean, for most of that 150, for a lot of that 150 years, like ever since, maybe since you've turned 80 years old, your body like deteriorates. Like you become, it's just your body just breaks down and it can't handle itself. Like so you're basically saying, okay, fine, maybe you have a mental acuity up until up until you're like 87 years old, like 87, 88, and maybe then you might you definitely decline, like you definitely decline mentally and physically exponentially. And then what if you live from age 87 to 150? What if all those years in between are just filled with hospice? Not hospice, sorry. Um are just filled with this aging. You might be bedridden. You might just be confined to a nursing home, retirement home or whatever it's called. You eventually have to spend time, if you want, you can spend time in hospice care, which would, I didn't actually know a lot about hospice care until I learned about Jimmy Carter's death. He was in hospice care for the last like year of his life, or year and a half of his life. And really, if you don't know what hospice care is the caring of people before they die. it's really just the final, for a lot of people, it's really the final stage of life where you just spend, thankfully, it does give people a little bit of comfort, a little bit of solace. No, they probably lived a good life or a decent life. You know, they had families, maybe had children, or you know, maybe did some accomplishments in life, but then they're gone. Just one random night, they die and there's no warning. There's no warning when you're gonna die. And the thing is, you just imagine just not waking up ever again. That's insane to me. That's insane to me. So yeah, you know. So I think after taking in all this information, after taking it all in, honestly, the conclusion that I'm left with is really to that there might be a personal God for me. What if everything around me doesn't exist anymore? Or like doesn't really exist? Like no one really has their own, everyone else is really, everyone else is not connected to this God. It's just, what if it's just me and this God that are connected together? Because it's just so unfair. It's just so unfair how people die early, how people, you know, honestly, that doesn't make much. That's not fair. That's not fair that innocent people die early. That is not fair at all. But the thing is, with a personal God, you would be able to circumvent that problem, because of course those people are not spiritually connected. Those people are just organisms. But what if I don't want to think selfishly. I don't want to think, just about myself here. But yeah, what if I am the real main character, or the one, because of course I'm the one who sees the world as myself. I mean, at least in my universe, in my perspective, I'm literally the main character. I'm a player. Like I'm literally the player in this grand game of sorts. I mean, it's not really a game. I mean, every time you lose, essentially, if you don't discover immortality. I mean, I don't think you would want immortality. Immortality would probably be bad, but also death would also be terrifying. Both options kind of suck, but you know, I, yeah. But really, in the end, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Really, it doesn't matter what you do. And the thing is, what happens? What happens if you ascend? What happens if there is something after death? Where do you go to? What happens? I don't know if I talked about this in my last video, but there was this theory that I came across, that what if you live every single human life that has ever existed? What if after you die you move on to this next human life? Like you live every single human life. But also that would be absolutely terrifying as well, because some people have died in absolutely terrifying ways. I mean, you have people who've died in cave accidents, people who have died in cave accidents, people who have died on the Titanic, or not, maybe not on the Titanic, but like died in the water next to the Titanic. You have people who died in airplane crashes are significantly less common than car crashes. Maybe you have died in a car crash, maybe you've drowned in another life. So of course that would also be terrifying. But what if the theory goes that, oh yeah, you live every single human life, and then once you've lived every single human life, you ascend and become you exist, or I mean, I guess I don't know how to quantify it. I don't know how to describe it exactly, but I guess you are with God after you've lived every single human life. Maybe you become a god yourself. That's definitely one of the more interesting theories. There's this other theory that's kind of like a fringe theory that, oh yeah, you may become a ghost and you may like, but that's like, I don't know. I've never seen. Thankfully, I have not seen a ghost. I don't want to. I don't want to jinx anything, but I haven't. Thankfully, I don't want to see a ghost. But basically, like you become a ghost. Like in this theory, you become a ghost and you basically just haunt the natural world. But I don't believe in that. I don't think many people believe in that. Only like the diehard horror fans, like the goth girls and whatever. Yeah, they they might find merit in that theory, but not me. There's the theory of the simulation. Um, Simulation, okay, cool, but just I don't understand. Like I just can't wrap my head around it being a simulation. Like I just can't. I can't comprehend that. I can't comprehend it. If you think about it, if we are able to create a virtual universe to live in, like you essentially we create a system where you literally are become a part of this virtual universe. Not like you can actually stop playing and like I don't think it's a vid. I don't think this life is a video game. I don't think so. I first of all, why would you want to play a lifelong video game? Like, why would you want to spend 80, 100 years playing as a character when you yourself could be living a life and actually experiencing that for that amount of time. So I don't understand simulation theory. It just doesn't really make sense. And if we are able, again, back to the point, if we were able to create virtual reality, like actual virtual universes that we could, you know, actual like right now it's pretty primitive and not really immersive. But what if we could actually like port port consciousness or something? I don't know. I don't know. Not very great. Um, what's the next theory? I'm just gonna go through the theories. Reincarnation. I don't understand reincarnation. Like, I don't know how that would work. How would you would be transferred to another organism? And I don't know if that. I mean, of course, I haven't really looked into reincarnation, so excuse me if I don't know much about it. But what if you're reborn as a plant? That'd be, and then basically you live a plant life, and then oh yeah, your plant life ends by being chopped down by a human. That is that worth it? Is that really? So I don't know about reincarnation. It's kind of more hippy dippy kind of. I don't know. I can't believe I just said that, but I can't believe it. It just seems kind of like more hippie kind of thing. You know. Okay, but based on the observations we can observe, and based on what seems to be just strictly just look at the universe in this strict light, just uh, based on the biological happenstance of human decay. There will be nothing. There will not be blackness. There will not be anything. I can't quantify. I can't not found, not found. Yeah. So there is no point to that. um So I don't blame people for believing in faith. I don't blame them. It gives them purpose. It gives them meaning. I it does. I mean, it really just kind of. I said this in my last video. I don't know if I want to repeat myself, but yeah, I mean, really, that can give us a beautiful feeling that we are we play a role, we play a special role in this universe. It gives us the moral compass. Yeah, but I don't know. It's how I don't religion might just be made up. It just might be made up. It just might be just. But of course, we can't prove anything. We can't prove anything. That's the thing. We can't prove anything. So, yeah, this will probably be my last video on. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about this topic like later. But I don't know if I can add anything else. I don't know if I can add anything else to this pile. You know, we feel special in this universe. We may feel special. You know, we haven't actually observed any alien civilizations. And the thing is, it wouldn't take that long for us if we continue the technological development that we are doing right now. If we are continuing to evolve at this pace, because the thing is, in the past 100 years, things have gotten so technologically advanced in the last 100 years. What would happen in the next million years if humanity survives? What would happen? That theoretically, in like maybe one, it would be like 2 million years or something, or like I don't know however many millions, single digit millions of years, we could actually maybe actually possible for us to colonize or like to expand ourselves across the entire galaxy. And I think it's in like a million to 2 million years. We could do it. We can we can do it. It's possible. But the thing is, why haven't we observed any alien civilizations? Like what if another alien civilization existed of got to this point before us? Why haven't they colonized or extended their influence across the whole galaxy, or maybe even multiple galaxies? I mean, actually, I don't think that's really possible. Uh, that's just so far fetched. So yeah, yeah. I mean, cool. I mean, thankfully, I think I just want to leave this video off on a message that I'm glad I exist. I mean, sure, I may have had thoughts about really there really is no purpose to existing, because you are going to die anyways. There's really going to be nothing. I mean, at least if you believe in eternal oblivion, if you believe in a strictly scientific atheist approach, then yeah, then there really is no point. But you should also recognize the fact that yes, there is suffering in life. There is challenges. There are all those fun stuff. But there's also a lot of joy. There's a lot of feelings and a lot of sensations that we wouldn't be able to have otherwise. You know, you know, I guess it's strange. It's strange to think about it. It's strange to think about the chances of us being here. That's something special. That's something we should look at and say, yes, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do this, to experience this. Sure, I mean, we're going to die one day. I mean, that's just sad. But thank you for letting me experience the good. That's just so amazing. And yeah, thank you for watching. See you later.